And the reason is, if I am trying to make the case about smaller government, it's a whole lot easier for me to make it when I'm not sticking my hand in the till. But I have to admit, there's another reason. Debbie and others, you know I am married to an absolutely gorgeous and enormously talented woman. And even if I had taken the pay raise, I would not be the breadwinner in the Williams family. So, my friends, as we go forward, and as you start looking about how you fit in, as Rick Green said earlier, I encourage you, find one of those issues that you're passionate about. Get engaged. Find one of those organizations that you're passionate about and get engaged. And recognize that you will be working alongside someone who shares your values and is ready to go to work. Back in 1986, I was a 33-year-old prosecutor at the United States Department of Justice. I was the prosecutor in charge of the case, the United States of America versus 5 members of the Carolina Knights of the KKK. I'd indicted them for conspiring to obtain stolen military weapons from Fort Bragg and other military installations across the South. In the records of the United States Senate, it will tell you that the Carolina Knights of the KKK was the largest and perhaps the most violent white supremacist organization in the country. Those Senate records will also tell you that I prosecuted those cases at no small risk to myself. You see, people who had done harm before sent a death warrant out against me. As a matter of fact, the last 2 cases I tried under the heavy armed protection of agents of the United States Marshal Service and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. And in the end, those 5 individuals got a free, paid trip to a federal institution of higher learning. 4 years later, I was an assistant secretary at the U.S. Department of Education. I had the same position under President George H.W. Bush that Supreme Court Justice Thomas had under Ronald Reagan. And I issued a policy statement that said colleges and universities should discontinue assigning seats in their classrooms and financial aid dollars based upon someone's bloodline. The New York Times said it was a frontal assault on race-based affirmative action, and it was. Why do I tell you that story? I have to think, as you're looking towards the future, that the courage that was displayed by that 33-year-old prosecutor and the fidelity to the principles of individual liberty and individual freedom were in that 33-year-old, in that 37-year-old, are still in me today. And I look forward to working on behalf of you in Washington to carry Texas values to Washington. May the peace of the Lord be with you. May God bless you. May God bless Texas.